This morning, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President.
All right, this morning we are very, very pleased to have the Reverend Brent Alderman from the Maryland Capital Commission here in the capital city, guest of the distinguished senator from District 37. Members, please rise for the invocation.
Our Father, we thank you for blessing us with another day of life to live for you and to live for those around us. We confess what a great God you are and that you are worthy of our praise and gratitude. We also confess our frail natures and our need for you to strengthen and sustain us. For President Ferguson and each of these senators, we ask for your guidance during this session for the challenges of our time. Encourage them, their families, and their staffs in these busy days with challenging logistics. Give them health and stamina they will need in the weeks ahead. You've placed each of them in these offices for your purpose, and it is to you they are accountable. May they serve the people of Maryland well in the role to which you've called them. You've told us in your word what true wisdom from you looks like. We also know from the scriptures that your instructions are clear to each member of this Senate. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Amen.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 37th District.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, it's been my pleasure to get to know Reverend Brent Alderman since 2007, when he believed he was called to come and minister to us. He gets together weekly with a number of us. We started over in the House and then also included a lot of the senators. So we deeply appreciate those who sustain us, support us, and hold us up in prayer for the very difficult work that we do, working out for activities and projects and the structure and doing good legislation for our district. So we appreciate him being with us today, and I move to journalize the prayer, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Senator, and without objection, we will most certainly journalize the wonderful remarks and invocation this morning. Has everyone recorded their presence in the chamber? If so, the clerk will take the call. The call? With 45 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland is now in session. Senators, we have a very, very special day today. But actually, before we get to that, I do want to I have a special intern shadowing me here today. His sister is in in-person school. She was able to go back. The first graders are back. And my intern today was feeling a little bummed about not being able to go back until April. So he is visiting us, and my son Caleb is joining us today. So feel free to, send him on missions and, go tell him to go kill a bill or, whatever it takes, right? So we do have a very, very special day today. And normally, in any other year, we would all know that it was a special day because there would be chairs on the floor, we would have flowers out, there would be guests that we wouldn't be expecting in the chamber. Today we have the one of the best opportunities that we have here in the Senate to really celebrate individuals who have dedicated their lives to public service. And so we're going to start the day today with a ceremony with the First Citizens Award. For those who We were supposed to do last year, but of course, it's normally this third week in March that we try to do the right after crossover to do the First Citizens Award. But this day last year was the last day of session, and so we did not have that opportunity. And so we have three very wonderful people who you all will certainly recognize and I believe unanimously support for this very special honor. If we could start today's presentation with Tim Baker, our state archivist, to give us a short overview of the First Citizen Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Ferguson, members of the Senate, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. For the record, my name is Timothy D. Baker, and I am your state archivist. Since 1992, it has been the privilege of the Maryland State Archives to present on your behalf the First Citizen Awards of the Maryland Senate. The First Citizen Award recognizes individuals who have committed themselves to public service and civic engagement through debate, legislation, and governance. The name First Citizen is derived from a series of articles published in the Maryland Gazette in 1773, which were comprised of letters between Charles Carroll of Carrollton and Daniel Delaney Jr., signed anonymously by each, Carroll calling himself First Citizen and Delaney Antelope.
Hello.
At the time, Charles Carroll was a private citizen. He was prevented from holding public office because he was a Catholic. Daniel Delaney was a successful attorney and former mayor of Annapolis. The letters between the two debate the role of government in people's lives. The letters in question the rights and freedoms of citizens versus the authority of their leaders, a debate that was, at least partially, resolved by the Revolutionary War just a few years later. In selecting the recipients of this year's award, the Senate has chosen individuals for whom public service has defined their careers from the very beginning. Whether that be as a public school teacher, or as a nurse, or as a law student who would himself become the teacher of lawyers, each of these year's recipients brought their experience and expertise to the Maryland Senate to advocate for the people of Maryland. It was the late Senate President Emeritus Mike Miller who conceived of the First Citizen Award, working with my predecessor, State Archivist Ed Pappenfuss, to establish an annual commemoration in the Senate to honor individuals who espouse the highest ideals of our government's founders. For Mike Miller, this award represented two of his great passions, history and the Senate. Therefore, it is most fitting that President Ferguson posthumously awarded the First Citizen in January of this year, presenting Mike's family with the first struck silver medallion featuring the image of Charles Carroll of Carrollton, inaugurating a new tradition for future recipients. Thank you, President Ferguson, for this opportunity to participate in today's ceremony, and my sincere congratulations to this year's First Citizens. Thank you.
We are thankful to Mr. Baker for his incredible efforts. He's been here for many, many years and does an incredible job. Our first awardee today is somebody that I think all of us will certainly recognize, someone who thought that he was joining in a Zoom meeting today to talk about the state song, but instead is here joining us. Certainly, we all know him very well, and the country has certainly gotten to know him after his efforts as the lead manager in the most recent impeachment trial this year. So the country saw what we all knew, one of the most talented and smart individuals that Maryland has ever brought into public service. Congressman Raskin has represented Maryland's 8th District since 2017. He's represented all Americans who felt the pain of what we all saw on January 6th. A constitutional law professor for over 25 years, Congressman Raskin demonstrated a mastery of facts and oratory, leading a team of colleagues with obvious skill and compassion, all while personally enduring a tragedy of unimaginable proportion. It was not the first time that Senator Raskin persevered through personal pain to accomplish his work on behalf of the public. As a senator representing Montgomery County, when a member of this body, he worked through the legislative session of 2011 while undergoing treatments for cancer. He not only got through that session, he led the floor debates on bills around same-sex marriage, the bills prohibiting discrimination against transgender individuals in employment, housing, and credit acquiring. Those bills at that time didn't pass, and Senator Raskin acknowledged that his personal battle gave him a better perspective in doing his work. Quote, "It has made me a much less partisan person. It helped me to proceed with no rancor." The marriage equality bill passed that next year, as did the ban on the sale of semi-automatic rifles, led by Senator Raskin in partnership with then Senator Frosch. Among other issues, while in the Senate, he championed criminal justice reform and the repeal of the death penalty. He then took his progressive agenda to Congress, where he serves as the senior whip of the House Democratic Caucus and has established the Congressional Free Thought Caucus, with goals towards pushing public policy formed on the basis of reason, science, and moral values, promoting the separation of church and state to oppose discrimination against atheists, agnostics, humanists, seekers, religious, and non-religious persons. Responding to once being labeled a liberal by a colleague in Congress, Raskin responded by saying, "The heart of the word liberal is liberty. If we're not for liberty, what are we fighting for? But I'm also a progressive because the heart of that word is progress. If we're not making progress, what are we doing in politics?" It is my honor and privilege to present the Honorable Jamie Raskin with today's First Citizen Award.
Lured me here under false pretenses, but I forgive you because this is the greatest honor of my entire life. You know that I love the Maryland State Senate as the first place I ever served in public office. I love all of my colleagues there. I miss you guys pretty much on a daily basis. I'm just absolutely blown away and I'm rendered speechless, which gives you a sense of how overwhelming an honor this is. I miss Mike Miller, and what an honor to have received this award the same year as him. I'm so proud of all of the work that you guys have been doing there in this difficult session. I follow it closely, and I honestly don't know if I deserve this award, my dear colleagues, President Ferguson, but I'll spend the rest of my life working to deserve this award. So thank you.
We are so thankful for you, Congressman Raskin, so deeply, deeply thankful. We so wish you were here, too. We actually have, since our President Emeritus since his very first inaugural award, so I don't know if we were able to zoom in to catch it, but we will be shipping you via FedEx the inaugural Charles Carroll of Carrollton plaque. We're doing like a home vision TV here so that we can see what will be coming into your home, and then of course our citation, which is our symbol of gratitude. But I do want to recognize the chair of the Judicial Proceedings Committee who would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I remember the week that I succeeded Congressman Raskin here in the State Senate. At a fortuitous turn of events, we had a Rabbi Raskin deliver the prayer for the day. And when he concluded, a couple senators yelled from the back, "We certainly miss Senator Raskin being here." So I don't know if you remember that from the senator from Rockville and Gaithersburg, but I just want to say that we love you here, and obviously you've left our midst here in the state Senate, gone on to serve the nation in Congress. You've made us all tremendously proud, and we do miss you here in the state Senate, but so tremendously proud that you now belong to the nation, and you've done tremendous work there, and we love you, and give Sarah B. our love, and it's always good to see you. So from our heart to yours, congratulations.
Thank you, Senator.
Mr. President.
Well, Congressman, you are more than welcome to stay with us.
Mr. President.
Yes, Chair recognizes the Minority Leader.
Thank you. I couldn't let this opportunity go past. Senator, I always call him Senator Raskin, we didn't always agree on the issues, but we were always very friendly. I respected him. And on this side, when we saw him get up on a debate, we're like, oh no, we're in trouble. Because he was one of the smartest people I ever knew. We used to play chess. We share the chess championship from one year. I will note that I have beat him the last time, so I'm the reigning champion. I have not agreed to play him since because I knew I would keep that. But we're really proud of you and appreciate your friendship and look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you so much, Mr. Minority Leader. Share those sentiments. Well, Congressman, you are welcome to stay, but I know that you were expecting this to be a meeting, and I believe your staff hid it from you. So you may have a meeting afterwards. Your choice, but please, thank you so much for your service, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Senator Ferguson.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have yet another non-stranger, an individual who was born in the parish of Trelawney, Jamaica. Former Senator Shirley Nathan-Pulliam fulfilled her childhood dream of becoming a nurse by attending school in Yorkshire, England. From there, she moved to Baltimore, where she worked as a licensed practical nurse in Baltimore hospitals, all the while attending school, earning first a GED, then an associate degree, a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Maryland, and ultimately a master's degree in administrative science from Johns Hopkins University. Elected to the Maryland House of Delegates in 1994, she represented Baltimore's 10th district for 20 years, becoming the first Caribbean-born and first African-American registered nurse elected in the Maryland General Assembly. Utilizing her expertise and years of nursing experience, Senator Nathan-Pulliam sponsored and championed healthcare legislation securing $2.6 million for breast cancer diagnosis and treatment for low-income women in her first year in office. She also was a leading sponsor in the creation of the Healthcare Disparities Prevention Act in 2003 and the establishment of the Office of Minority Health and Healthcare Disparities in 2004. She continued to advocate for healthcare access and equality in the Senate, where she represented District 44 from January 2015 until her retirement in 2019. Concurrent with her legislative service, she has been the owner of 2 healthcare companies providing personal care services to clients in their homes and adult medical daycare services for the elderly and disabled. The resume of task forces she has chaired or served on throughout her legislative career is a testament to her dedication to giving voice to underrepresented segments of our society. Among these are the Maryland Advisory Council for New Americans, the Task Force on Quality of Care in Nursing Facilities, the Task Force to Study Healthcare Needs of Inmates in Transition from Correctional Institutions, the Oversight Committee on Quality of Care in Nursing Homes, and the Task Force on the Needs of Persons with Co-Occurring Mental Health and Substance Use Disorders. Likewise, the list of awards for her service is too numerous to cite in full, but among them are the Caribbean American Heritage Marcus Garvey Lifetime Achievement Award, the naming of the Shirley Nathan-Pulliam Health Equity Lecture Series by the University of Maryland School of Public Health, and the Legislative Champion Award conferred by the Women Legislators of Maryland. She has been named one of Maryland's top 100 women 3 times by the Daily Record, joining their circle of excellence. In 2004, Senator Nathan-Pulliam was inducted into the Library of Congress's History Makers, the largest compilation of African-American oral histories in the nation. In that interview, she remembered that her grandfather always emphasized to her the importance of, quote, being at the table, and that she realized what he meant when she joined the legislature, saying, and I quote from her own remarks, "I know for a fact that if I wasn't at that table, sitting in the Health and Government Operations and the Environmental Matters Committee, if I wasn't there, many of the issues that I'm talking to you about would never be discussed, from HIV/AIDS to hepatitis C to substance abuse. You name the issues that I brought before, and any time that I thought that racism played a part and we were not getting our point out, I made sure I spoke loud enough and clear enough that I was understood. It is my deep personal honor to present the Honorable Shirley Nathan-Pulliam with the First Citizen Award. Senator, the floor is yours.
Mr. President, members of the Senate, this is indeed a tremendous honor. I'm overwhelmed. I can't even find words at this moment because I used to sit in my seat and watch other people get the First Citizen Award and said, wonder if I'd ever be worthy of it. And here I am. I'm excited that I'm also being honored along with Congressman Raskin, who I tremendously admire and who has put Maryland on the map. And I am proud of the Senate's accomplishment. I watch everything you do. I miss all of you. I wish I could meet all the new members that I did not have the opportunity to work with. I know my children and friends have tuned in to listen, and I am so grateful. I'm grateful to Senator Kelly, who I served on with my first senator and my last senator before I became a senator. So, and to all of you, I see David Craig, all the staff members, Joy Walker, all of you. I miss every one of you, but I can call from time to time and listen to Robin and hear her voice, that familiar voice. And so, I don't know what else to say except that I'm overwhelmed. Your tears coming in my eyes, and I am proud of your leadership and Mr. President, and also the fact that President Mike Miller, this was one of his brainchild. It's one way of keeping him in our memory. Again, I thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Senator. Thank you. Chair recognizes the. The chair recognizes the senator who has ably and worked every day to fill your very large shoes, the senator from Baltimore City and Baltimore County.
Thank you, Mr. President. What an honor to see my former senator as well as my former delegates. See, we go back to probably the mid-1990s when she was representing me on the Dolores Kelly team, and she's done a tremendous job. And I tell you, while she's not on this floor, she's our 48th senator. Constituents, she tells me daily, they're still reaching out to her, and she's certainly reaching out to me in partnership to make certain that we're still moving issues that she cares deeply about forward here in Maryland. So what an honor and a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. Chair recognizes the senator from District 17, Montgomery County.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So, Senator Shirley Nathan-Pulliam and I arrived together as the class of '94, and there are not very many of us left, but she persisted and stayed for decades, speaking out on important issues. And I just have to say, as her successor as Vice Chair of Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs, she has left a legacy and some big shoes to fill, especially on hard-to-pronounce legislation like neonicotinoids and chlorpyrifos. So thank you, Senator Nathan-Pulliam, for staying in touch, for making sure that we're focused on the right issues, and for all that you accomplished as a proud member of the class of '94. Stay well.
Thank you, Senator. Chair recognizes the senator from Baltimore County, District 8.
Thank you, Mr. President. As a member of the class of '94, Senator, I always ask the question, how long have you been a nurse? Is it 90 years now? I love you, man.
Yeah.
Since birth is the answer. She's been caring for others since the beginning. Chair recognizes the Chair of Finance, Senator from Baltimore County.
Hi, Shirley. You bless our hearts. Colleagues, I just want to say that Shirley has not really retired. She served with me for, I think, 19 years on the Medicaid Advisory Commission. She still calls the health department and gives them orders and suggests what they ought to be doing. She calls me to make sure that bills that are worthy of getting proper consideration. She's the queen of health care on several continents, and she's my younger sister and my friend. I love you, Shirley. Thanks so much for what you've done for us all.
Thank you so much, Senator. Chair recognizes the senator from the 37th District, Middle Shore.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, Shirley Nathan-Pulliam. It's Senator Audi Eckert here, and we started actually in hoping to be in the class of 1990. Remember, Shirley, when we were sitting around the table at the Maryland Nurses Association, plotting and scheming for which one of us was going to get there first, and you worked so diligently and ran such a great campaign. I'll never forget that year. And then, lo and behold, we all found ourselves in that class of 1994. And at that time when we came in, I think we had 5 nurses in the House and the Senate because there was Senator Goldwater, Senator Hollinger, well, Delegate Goldwater, and then Senator Hollinger, a number of us. So we deeply appreciate your commitment, particularly to dealing with health disparities. We will carry that banner for you into the future, and thank you so much for your commitment. It's been a delight to work with you and know you through the years.
Thank you so much, Senator. Chair recognizes the senator from Prince George's, 24th District.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Shirley Nathan-Pulliam, I want you all to know that my friendship with Shirley Nathan-Pulliam goes back for many years. She and my 2 older sisters went to the University of Maryland. They graduated together. They were a family. She became a part of our family, and we became a part of her family. She is a wonderful mother, a faithful servant. And when she was down here, she was concerned about the least of these. The problem of the disparities among people of color. It was Shirley Nathan-Pulliam who continuously brought that to the front burner. I can tell you so many things about this wonderful, wonderful public servant and the things that she did, not only in her community, but in her church. And the things that she did for my family and the things that we did for her family are just too numerous for us, for me to mention here. I want her to know, on behalf of my family, on behalf of the people down here, those who can't speak for themselves, we truly thank you for your years of service. And the thing that's even more exciting for me is that you're not through yet. God is not through with you yet. You're still working for the little people, for those who can't speak for themselves. And I want you to know that we deeply and profoundly appreciate that. During the time that Shirley was in college, she and my 2 sisters had little children, and they worked with each other. They stayed up night and day working to be sure that they had the work done, the requirements for graduating. I'm telling you, oh my God, I could talk about you all day long, Shirley, but I won't do that. I just want you to know that I really, really, really love you. And I'm sure that you know that we lost Mary, who got her PhD from Columbia University. You know the story. You've been with us as a family. So please know that you will continue to have my unwavering support and the support of our family, because we, in fact, are family. I knew your mother. I know your family. So, and I know the struggles that you've gone through to keep your family together. I understand. And so I'm here to do whatever I can, and I speak for my entire family and the people down here. We profoundly and deeply appreciate every single thing that you have done for the citizens, not only in your district, but for the great state of Maryland. We love you, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around your neck.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Senator. Chair recognizes the Senator from Charles County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Nathan-Pulliam, I'm going to ask you how you're doing in Jamaican. Wagwan! No, coming from Jamaica, I must say you exemplified, and I'm living what we call the American dream, to be immigrants, to come to this country, to be able to work hard to succeed. I call you my big sister. You really remind me of my mom. My mom had the same trajectory. She came here. She was a nurse's aide, LPN, went to school, become an RN. You know, she's not with us now, but I thank God for the example that you are still setting for us. And we want to say congratulations to you again, and we love you, and we will see you soon.
Thank you so much, Senator. Chair recognizes Senator from Prince George's 26th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I want you to know just a bit about Shirley, other than in a working environment. Shirley and I got started, of course, in the same year in 94. I believe at the end of our first term, we decided that, hey, why don't we all hook up and go to Jamaica? So Shirley was our ringleader to get us all together, get the hotel and flight planned for us. But most significantly, Shirley got us through custom. You know, normally when you go, you got this long line. Shirley had it all arranged. We all went up to this big fabulous room and had refreshments. And 2 or 3 nights later, Shirley decided to take us out in the community. This big dance. It was surrounded by a wood fence with about 200 or 300 people. So Shirley had us out there. You could hardly move to dance, but most of us enjoyed it back in those days anyway. But Shirley, I thank you for all your love. I thank you for the time you served as head of the health committee when I was chair of the Maryland Legislative Black Caucus. So keep on doing it. And when you get ready to sponsor another trip to Jamaica, let me know I'm ready to go. Thank you.
Senator, I was going to say, I've been waiting 6 years for my invite to the Jamaica trip, but I'm hoping maybe this First Citizen Award will get us up the list. Chair, I think our final remarks from our President Pro Tem, Senator from Prince George's in the 25th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be brief. I would just be remiss if I did not stand and thank this phenomenal leader for the foundation that she laid during her time in the House of Delegates and then in the Senate. Senator Shirley Nathan-Pulliam has been for me a mentor and a friend. And for many of you, I'm sure you've received some of those phone calls that last far longer than either of you could have imagined, but that are so jam-packed with wisdom and passion from this incredible senator. Senator Nathan-Pulliam laid such a solid foundation in terms of her work with health care and health disparities, but also her work with equity and inclusion. And everywhere I travel in the community, and she and I used to do some speaking engagements together, she has such wonderful relationships that run deep in almost every area that you could imagine, whether it's healthcare, education, equity and inclusion. She just knows people in every industry and every field. And she's built a foundation that we can all use as we move forward. So thank you, Senator. Thank you, friend. We love you, we appreciate you, and we look forward to more late-night phone calls. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Senator, so much. We are so honored to give you this award today, and we know we will hear from you soon, and we cannot wait to see you soon after this session to continue our partnership together. Thank you, Senator Nathan-Pulliam. Our final awardee of the First Citizen Award is a native of Havre de Grace. The Honorable David Craig received a bachelor's degree in history from Towson State College and a master's degree from Morgan State University. He established his political career by serving on the Havre de Grace City Council before being elected as mayor. Concurrently, Craig was establishing a career as an educator, a teacher, and then assistant principal in the Harford County Public Schools for over 30 years. He continued his teaching career while also serving in the House of Delegates, where he was elected to represent Harford County's 34th District, serving from 1991 to 1994. He then joined the Senate in 1995 before returning to Havre de Grace to serve again as mayor and then Harford County Executive from 2005 until 2014. Senator Craig's post-legislative service has been shaped by his lifelong interest in history, inspired in part by his ancestors' military service in the Civil War, as well as the Revolutionary War, including a Private James Craig, who was among the famed Maryland 400 at the Battle of Brooklyn in 1776. As the Secretary of Planning in 2015, he oversaw the Maryland Historical Trust, and most recently, his dedication to the study of Maryland and American history has been demonstrated as the Executive Director of the Maryland World War I Centennial Commission. For those of you who may not know, Senator Craig is a deltiologist, that is the collector of postcards, a hobby that he has turned into another opportunity to educate the public through the publication of 3 volumes of books illustrating the history of Gettysburg and Havre de Grace as interpreted in historic postcard images. While we didn't have the opportunity to serve together here in this chamber, our partnership together as county executive and then in the administration, I will forever cherish. And all of us, it is an honor and privilege to present the Honorable David Craig with the First Citizen Award. Senator Craig, the floor is yours. If we can just unmute you one moment. The joys of the pandemic award. There we go.
Right,
excellent.
can you hear me now?
There we are. The floor is yours, Senator.
Well, I'll try talking to everybody. I was very honored to get this. I really enjoyed working there from 1995 to 1999 when I was a state senator. And but I can also say that the first 2 people deserved what they got today. They had worked hard too. I remember seeing them. And when you mentioned the last thing I've been doing as the executive director, I do try to remind people what my official title is right now. It's Pop-Pop. And, with 9 grandchildren, and I enjoy doing that all the time. And my newest election last year was I got elected to be the historian for the church across the street. So I'm working on that too. But I guess I could also say that the one thing that upset me the most this year was when Mike Miller had passed, because I really enjoyed working with Mike all the time when I was in the Senate and after the Senate. And I can give people, I know that there are 3 senators now that are sitting in there that know what I've been trying to do for the last year, which is try to have lunch with somebody every week. So, have a different person come and have lunch with them. And I can tell everybody that started when I turned 70, that I wanted to have lunch with people. And the first time I did it, I can tell you that 2 of the people I had, one was Aaron and one was Brandon. I told them it was going to be the easiest lunch they ever had with me because I wasn't going to tell them what they had to do the rest of the day. I was just going to tell them what things were when you get to be a certain time. So thank you very much for this, and I deeply appreciate it. And if there's anything you ever need me to do, feel free. And thank you for.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Senator. It's an honor to have you here today. Thank you. Chair recognizes the senator from Cecil and Harford County, the 35th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hello, Mr. County Executive, State Senator. I'm honored. I'm actually related to David Craig distantly through the Hughes family, so I get to see him once in a while at family reunions in the past. But he's had a great career of service to the folks of Havre de Grace, Harford County, and the state of Maryland. As the president mentioned, he served 2 different stints as the mayor of Havre de Grace. He was a delegate and also a state senator, and the longest serving county executive in the county's history, about 10 years in Harford County. He's a lover of history, like President Emeritus Miller. They had that in common. They're both great historians, loved state and U.S. history. But one thing I'd like to mention is, he graduated from my alma mater, Havre de Grace High School. And in that old school, the graduates of that school are proud of what's over the door in the old school going in. It said, enter to learn, leave to serve. And that's what David Craig embodied, that service. So I just like to congratulate you and say hello to you and Melinda, and I look forward to having one of those lunches sometime soon after session. So congratulations, David, for this wonderful award.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you so much for that reflection. Well, Senator Craig, thank you. Yes. Yes, Chair recognizes the Senator from the 38th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be brief. David Craig, you are an inspiration. I will always remember your kindness. You've been a mentor, recognizing your service at the municipal, county, and state level, but most of all, your complete dedication to being a servant leader. So we congratulate you.
Thank you so much, Senator. The Senator following your very able shoes, the Senator from the 34th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator, it's a pleasure to see you up there on our brand new jumbotron screen here in the floor of the Senate. I was known David for very many years, and the Senator from 35th mentioned that David was appointed he served for 10 years as our county executive, because as a county councilman, I voted to put him in for for a 2-year stint to fill in from James Harkins after he left the role of county executive. We go back a long way, and his, David, you have so many awesome titles, from husband and father and grandfather, and senator and county executive and mayor and county or councilman, and so many others, Mr. Secretary. What's always impressed me, and I think my colleagues here, has been your amazing dedication, really selfless dedication, not only to the citizens of Havre de Grace, but really to the entire state of Maryland. And so we thank you and congratulate you. And Melinda, who I see hands kind of behind the scenes there, but as off to the side. But thank you both and congratulations. Take care, Senator.
Thank you so much for that reflection, Senator. Chair recognizes the Senator from Montgomery County, District 17.
Thank you, Mr. President. It would be a travesty if only our Republican colleagues spoke today about Dave Craig, because he was such a wonderful bipartisan leader and still is. I can tell you, in the House, I had a bill that I worked on for my whole first term about condos and homeowners association. And after Senator killed it on sine die, Dave Craig got in touch with me and said, I'd love to cross-file it. And that was before people cross-filed bills. But he sponsored it on the Senate side and ensured its passage. He always was a mentor and a friend, and he and Melinda are a beautiful couple who are warm and welcoming and encouraging of family, friends, and colleagues. So it's a well-deserved honor. Great to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Senator. Thank you very much. Chair recognizes the Senator from District 7.
Mr. County Executive, it's good to see you, and I call you County Executive. You know, you've had all those titles, but for many of us, when you work with somebody in a particular position, that kind of locks you in your mind of what they've done, even though you've been mayor, delegate, and all that. But to me, you're County Executive. And the one thing I just want to say about County Executive Craig was he's much like President Miller was. He loved history. He was a student in history, and he knew what happened here over the 300 years that this state's been here. He had studied the history, and times we were doing things, as county executive, he would say to us, well, they did that in 1960 or 1950. Here's what happened. So he was always able to help us kind of get through the issues that we were dealing with in the county. And it was because of his love of history that he knew what had happened before and how history might repeat itself. So with that, Mr. County Executive, congratulations on this well-deserved honor.
Thank you so much, Senator. Well, Senator Craig, we are so deeply thankful for your service, your model of what it means to be a true public servant, and we just wish you the best and look forward to seeing you, and hopefully we can grab lunch when this thing clears up and we get out of this session. I look forward to spending time with you, and just thank you so much for your service to the people of the state of Maryland. Thank you. All right, well, that ends our very non-traditional first citizen ceremony. And Senators, I thought, even though we couldn't do it as we normally would, it's moments like these, and I think our President Emeritus had it right, that when we think about our long careers in public service, we all do this for our own independent reasons, but it comes down to the why, and the why is to create a better future and to the love of family, and I think it's words like this that help to remind that. We've got a big day today, but it's always important to go back to those core values, especially on big days like this. All right. Any other announcements before we jump into the work of the body? If not, so be considered the reading of the journal from the prior legislative day. Our first order of business is a report from the Committee on Rules. The clerk will read the bills and the assignments.
Senate Bill 929, Senator Reedy, Mental Health Law, Reforms of Laws and Delivery of Service to Finance. Senate Bill 942, Senator Peters, Corporations and Associations, Fees for Processing Articles of Dissolution, Certificates of Cancellation, and Other Documents, Repeal to JPR. Senate Bill 949, Senator Hershey, Public Utility Bills for Electricity Service, Meter Reading to Finance. Senate Bill 962, Senator Jackson, Real Property Satisfaction of a Mortgage.
Majority Leader moves, so be considered the reading of the bills. Our next report is a report from the Committee on Executive Nominations. The clerk will read the report.
The Senate Executive Nominations Committee reports favorably on the gubernatorial appointments in report number 7 and recommends that the Senate of Maryland advise and consent to these appointments.
Chair recognizes Chair of the Executive Nominations Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate accept report number 7 of the Senate Executive Nominations Committee in open session, and that we special order the report until Friday.
The chairman has moved to have the report read in open session and to special order the report until the appropriate time on Friday. Are there any objections to the senator's motion? Without objection, so ordered. Senators, please review the list. If there are any nominees that individual senators wish to pull off and vote separately, please make sure to reach out to the chairman between now and Friday. All right, today is budget day, and that will be the bulk of our work today. We'll be taking these up on second reader. This is special order calendar number 34. The clerk will read the bill.
House Bill 588, the Speaker, Budget Bill, Fiscal Year 2022. Question is on the adoption of the committee amendments and the favorable report.
Chair recognizes the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, the Senate Budget and Tax Committee recommends 73 amendments to House Bill 588, the budget bill. These amendments are indicated on the committee reprint and in the committee report that was distributed on Monday. House Bill 588 and House Bill 589, the BRFA, go together in order to have a balanced budget. The committee's actions resolve the near and long-term structural budget deficit, leave the state with $1.8 billion in cash reserves, and most importantly, invest wisely in our future while also ensuring that we have the resources to support those who need it now. I would like to turn to the committee amendments, which are marked in the committee report and indicated on the committee reprint. This year, the Senate is considering the budget as passed by the House. Senate action that differs from the House is shown in italics on the report and reprint of the bill. House action with which the committee did not agree is struck through. Other actions reflected in the bill and in the committee report are House actions that our committee also has adopted. I'll introduce the amendments in groups. After describing the amendments, I will then move for each group to be adopted. If any member has concerns about a specific amendment, please ask to have that amendment separated for debate. As in the past, I ask that members hold additional amendments until after the committee amendments have been considered. Please keep in mind that any amendments are to be drawn to the committee reprint. Staff in the amendment office are available to assist you. With your permission, Mr. President, let me now turn to the first group of amendments.
Thank you, Senator. Just as a administrative clarification, we are going to do as the Senator said in groups. So we'll adopt the amendments in groups. We'll stop after each group. We'll adopt that set or debate or discuss. If there are specific amendments, please ask to pull those out if senators wish to vote separately on any specific amendments or debate on any specific amendments in that group. After that, assuming that we get through those amendments, we would adopt the favorable committee report as amended, and then if there are other amendments from the floor, that would be the appropriate time to take those up. So with that, Senator may proceed.
Okay, Amendments 1 through 14. In the Judiciary, Amendment 1 and 2 restore funding for merit increases and reduce funding for capital improvement projects. In the Office of the Attorney General, Amendment 3 is technical, and Amendment 4 increases turnover. In the Public Service Commission, Amendment 5 also increases turnover. In the Maryland Energy Administration, Amendment 6 strikes language restricting the use of certain funds for energy assistance. In the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention, Youth and Victim Services, Amendments 7 and 8 restrict funding for certain organizations and modify language pertaining to Victims of Crime Act funding. In the Department of Planning, Amendment 9 restricts funding for a position and a staffing report. In the Military Department, Amendment 10 expresses intent on the use of federal funds. In the Maryland Institute of Emergency Medical Service Systems, Amendment 11 restricts funding pending a report. In the Comptroller, Amendment 12 modifies a turnover reduction. In the State Lottery and Gaming Control Agency, Amendment 13 modifies a reduction to lottery advertising spending. In the Department of Information Technology, Amendment 14 restricts funds pending a report. Move adoption of Amendments 1 through 14.
The chairman has moved for the adoption of Amendments 1 through 14. Any discussion on any of the amendments in 1 through 14? If there's no discussion, all in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Amendments 1 through 14 are adopted. Senator may proceed.
On to Amendments 15 to 23. In the Department of Transportation, Amendment 15 modifies language increasing the agency's debt limit. Amendment 16 modifies language on barriers on bridges. Amendments 17 through 21 restricts funds for the environmental impact study and various reports. In the Department of Natural Resources, Amendments 22 and 23 restrict local funding pending actions taken on a capital project and strike a report requirement. Move the adoption of Amendments 15 through 23.
Senators move for the adoption of Amendments 15 through 23. Any discussion on Amendments 15 through 23? If there's no discussion, all in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The Amendments 15 through 23 are adopted. Senator may proceed.
Now on to Amendments 24 through 34. In the Department of Health, Amendment 24 modifies a reporting requirement. Amendment 24 modifies the reporting requirement. Amendment 25 through 27 are technical. Amendment 28 modifies reporting language in the Developmental Disabilities Administration. Amendments 29, 30, and 33 restrict Medicaid funding for home and community-based services. Amendment 31 modifies a reduction to the Medicaid based on reductions to Medicaid based on the available special funds. Amendment 32 and 34 are technical. Move adoption of Amendments 24 through 34.
Floor leader moves for the adoption of the Amendments 24 through 34. Any discussion on Amendments 24 through 34? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The Amendments 24 through 34 are now adopted. Senator may proceed.
Amendments 35 through 40. In the Maryland Department of Labor, Amendment 35 restricts funds pertaining pending a report on the Beacon mobile application. In the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services, Amendment 36 strikes language to maintain operations of the Eastern and Southern Maryland pre-release units. Amendments 37 and 39 restricts fund pending reports on the response to the COVID pandemic and supervises pandemic and increases turnover. Amendment 40 strikes a report on substance use disorder services. Move the adoption of Amendments 35 through 40.
Chairs move for the adoption of Amendments 35 through 40. Any discussion on Amendments 35 through 40? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Amendments 35 through 40 are adopted. Senator may proceed.
Amendments 41 through 48. In the State Department of Education, Amendment 41 restricts funds pending a report on the Maryland School for the Deaf. Amendment 42 restricts funds for the adult high school pilot program. Amendment 43 strikes contingent language. Amendment 44 strikes language authorizing funds for an agency financial system. Amendments 45 and 46 strike language to phase out the Boost program and level fund the program. In the University System of Maryland, Amendment 47 and 48 restrict funds for the Bowie State University Center for Law, Social Justice, and Civic Engagement. Move adoption of the amendments in 41 through 48.
The chairman has moved for the adoption of amendments 41 through 48. Any discussion on amendments 41 through 48? Chair recognizes Senator from Montgomery County.
Thank you, Mr. President. On amendment number 46, do we want to pull that out and discuss it later?
46?
Yes,
okay,
please.
so we will do 41 through 48, less 46. We'll take up 46 after we adopt 41 through 48. Any discussion on 41 through 48, not inclusive of 46? If not, all in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The amendments 41 through 48, not including 46, are adopted. We are now on amendment 46. Discussion on 46. Chair recognizes the Senator from Montgomery County.
Mr. President, I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't flag that once again this body is recommending giving public money to private schools and parochial schools. This was a one-time, it was promised by Governor Glendening, former Governor Glendening, that this was a one-time allocation of $2 million of public money for private school textbooks. And now here it is, decades later, and it continues. Especially during the pandemic, I am regretting that we continue this program. I appreciate that we didn't take the governor's higher number, but I'm not going to offer an amendment. I just feel like it's appropriate to express a hope that in the future that this program can be weaned out and we can keep public money for public schools. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Question before the body is Amendment 46. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of Amendment 46 say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Amendment 46 is adopted. Senator may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. On to amendments 49 through 56. In the Department of Commerce, Amendment 49 restricts funds pending a report. In the Department of the Environment, Amendment 50 reduces funding for the Valley Proteins wastewater treatment plant. Amendments 51 and 52 restrict funds pending reports. In the Department of State Police, Amendments 53 and 54 restrict funds pending a diversity study, group report, and increased turnover. In the State Reserve Fund, Amendment 55 provides additional funds for the protection and restoration of state-owned lakes. Amendment 56 partially restores a general fund deficiency for the Department of Human Services. Move adoption of amendments 49 through 56.
The chairman moves for the adoption of amendments 49 through 56. 49 through 56. Any discussion on 49 through 56? Seeing none, question is on 49 through 56. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Amendments 49 through 56 are adopted. Senator may proceed.
On to amendments 57 through 62. Amendment 57 through 60 modify language on the budget amendment process, state fleet vehicle purchases, workers' compensation, and coordinating public benefits. Amendment 61 strikes language on Maryland Transit Administration operations. Amendment 62 adds language on personally identifiable information. Move the adoption of amendments 57 to 62.
Chairman's move for the adoption of amendments 57 through 62. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of amendments 57 through 62 say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Amendments 57 through 62 are adopted. Chairman may proceed.
On amendments 63 to 73, pertaining to the supplemental budgets in the State Department of Education, amendments 63 through 68 strike contingent language. In the Department of Aging, amendments 69 and 70 restrict federal funding for the home delivered meals program. In the Maryland Department of Health, Amendments 71 and 72 restrict funds pending reports on vaccine distribution. In the Maryland Department of Labor, Amendment 73 modifies a funding restriction. Move adoption of Amendments 63 through 73.
Chairman's move for the adoption of Amendments 63 through 73. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The amendments are adopted. Question before the body is on the favorable committee report as amended. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the report say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The favorable committee report as amended is adopted. Are there any amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, House Bill 588 is ordered passed for third reading. Clerk will read the next bill.
House Bill 589, the Speaker, Budget Reconciliation and Financing Act of 2021. Question is on the adoption of the committee amendments and the favorable report.
Chair recognizes the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to now turn to the amendments on the BRFA that have been adopted by the Budget and Taxation Committee. I ask members to hold any additional amendments until after the committee amendments have been considered. I'd like to note the amendments to the BRFA implement the committee's actions on the budget. Mr. President, amendment.
Yes, Senator will explain all of the amendments, or are we going to do groups?
I'm going to read. Yes, I'm going to go through them.
Okay, the Senator will do all the on the amendments.
Yes. There's only 11. Amendment 1 is technical. Amendment 2 partially restores a provision related to the Office of the Attorney General financial consumer protection activities to allow the mandate to be partially met with special funds. Amendment 3 strikes a provision that would have repealed a mandate for the Maryland Loan Assistance Repayment Program for foster care recipients. Amendment 4 alters provisions to retain the current distribution of the Care First premium tax exemption for fiscal 2022, makes the Senior Prescription Drug Assistance Program the sole use of funding thereafter, requires a revenue diversion to support the Community Health Resources Commission in fiscal 23 and 24, and makes technical amendments to the use of the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange to conform to the committee's actions. Amendment 5 adds a provision to alter the operating budget mandate for the Maryland Transit Administration in fiscal 22. Amendments 6 and 7 reduce the amount of funds authorized to be transferred from the board of professional counselors and therapists and the Maryland Medical Cannabis Commission to the Behavioral Health Administration. Amendments 8 and 9 restore provisions to authorize agencies to charge COVID-19 expenses to a certain account while awaiting federal disaster relief funds, and require the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Service employees at closed facilities be transferred to other facilities. Amendments 10 and 11 strike provisions to transfer funds to the Behavioral Health Administration and General Fund. Move adoption of the amendments 1 through 11.
All right, the chairman has moved for the adoption of the 11 committee amendments and the favorable committee report. On the amendments, any discussion of amendments 1 through 11? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendments say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The 11 committee amendments are adopted. Question now is on the favorable committee report as amended. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the report say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The favorable committee report as amended is adopted. Are there any further amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, House Bill 589 is hereby ordered passed to third reader. All right, Senators, congratulations. We've got one step done. We've got another one to go, the important third reader, and it's a House bill, so we still have some work. Let's go to the special order calendar is done. We've got a report from the Committee on Finance. This is calendar number 25. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 138, Senator Heddleman, Education, Baltimore County Public Library, collective bargaining, favorable with 8 amendments.
All right, Senate Bill 138. Senate Bill 138. Is this the chair of the Baltimore County delegation? House Bill or Senate Bill 138? Chair recognizes the senator from Baltimore County as the floor leader.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Senate Bill 138 is a local bill that establishes collective bargaining rights for full or part-time non-management employees of the Baltimore County Public Library. These employees may form, join, and participate in employee organization bargain collectively through a representative of their choice and engage in lawful concerted activities for their mutual aid and protection. An employee also may refuse to join or participate in the activities of an employee organization. The bill has the support of the Baltimore County Senate delegation. Amendments number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are technical, define confidential employee management, employee supervisory, employees, alters definition, clarifies the roles of supervisory employees, and specifies the procedure for electing and certifying an exclusive representative. Amendment number 5 requires stopping payroll deductions if the employee discontinues union membership, specifies mediation procedures in the event of an impasse, and specifies that the county executive and council are not bound by mediation. Amendment number 6 and 7 further specifies the disposition of mediators' findings, details collective bargaining processes, and specifies the role of management and employees. Amendment number 8 specifies management and employee rights, prohibits concerted efforts such as strikes, and alters the effective date. I move the amendments and the adoption of the favorable committee report.
Floor leader moves for the adoption of the 8 committee amendments and the favorable committee report. Question on the amendments. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The 8 committee amendments are adopted. Question now is on the favorable committee report as amended. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the report say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The favorable committee report as amended is adopted. Are there any further amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, Senate Bill 138 is hereby ordered printed for third reader. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 514, Senator Feldman, Health Facilities, Hospitals, Medical Debt Protection, favorable with 4 amendments.
Senate Bill 514. Senate Bill 514.
Mr. President?
Yes, Chair recognizes the Vice Chair of the Committee.
Mr. President, let me just start by saying this is a very significant piece of legislation. And it's a lengthy floor report as a result. But I just want to make this one point. Nobody in our state should either face dire financial consequences or become homeless just because they get sick or seek out health care. And that's what this bill is attempting to address. So with that, let me say that Senate Bill 514 adds additional requirements related to hospital debt collection policies and payment plans. And it prohibits a hospital from taking specified actions when collecting debt. Annual reports from hospitals to the Health Services Cost Review Commission are required regarding debt collection activities, and the HSCRC must annually report collected information to the Senate Finance Committee and the House Health and Government Operations Committee. Specifically, these are changes to financial assistance policy provisions because of the pandemic, and interest payments and payment plan provisions are established. Also, there are detailed provisions regarding when and how a hospital can make reports to consumer reporting agencies, initiate court actions, and use debt collectors regarding collecting unpaid patient debt. Amendments number 1 and 2 are technical and require the information sheet provided by a hospital related to their financial assistance policy to include a section allowing for a patient to initial that the patient has been aware of the financial assistance policy. Amendment number 3 strikes provisions of the bill that would have required hospitals to provide refunds or seek to vacate judgments against patients later found eligible for reduced cost care, prohibits a hospital from charging interest or fees on debts incurred by patients who are eligible for free or reduced cost care, requires the HSCRC in consultation with stakeholders to develop guidelines for an income-based payment plan, prohibits a hospital from seeking legal action against a patient on a debt owed until the hospital has established and implemented a payment plan, strikes language that would have prohibited a hospital from filing an action against a patient to collect a debt owed on a hospital bill in an amount of $1,000 or less, and clarifies when a hospital may not make a claim against the estate of a deceased patient. Amendment number 4 details the stakeholders that the HSCRC must seek input from when establishing the payment plan, and requires a report on the development of the plan, requires the HSCRC to study uncompensated care, requires the Maryland Health Care Commission to study using the state-designated health information exchange to support determination of financial status of patients, and Mr. President, makes the bill effective January 1st, 2022. As amended, let me just say, the opposition from all the various stakeholders was essentially removed, and that, as a result, the bill passed unanimously out of the Senate Finance Committee. And I'd also note that a similar bill has moved unanimously out of the House of Delegates at this point. So with all that, Mr. President, I'd move the amendments and the adoption of the favorable committee report, again, on, I think, very significant piece of legislation for this General Assembly.
Thank you, Senator. The senators move for the adoption of the 4 committee amendments and the favorable committee report on the amendments. And just do want to take a quick note to say thank you to the Vice Chair and the entire committee for work grouping. This is a very, very complicated issue, very complicated, and a lot of detailed work was put in to get it to where it is. So we're deeply appreciative of the Finance Committee for this. This is the best of our work when we find ways to solve problems. All right, on the amendments, Chair recognizes the senator from the 34th District.
Thank you. For further yield for a quick question.
It appears
Yes,
so.
sir.
Senator may
Yes,
proceed.
So I just want to be clear. I see the only unfavorable in the committee testimony was the Maryland Hospital Association. Then you said the amendments had removed all the opposition. That includes theirs as well. So
yes, they are fine with this product in front of the body right now.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Any further discussion on the amendments? All in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The 4 committee amendments are adopted. Question now is on the favorable committee report as amended. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the report say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The favorable committee report as amended is adopted. Are there any further amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, Senate Bill 514 is hereby ordered printed for third reader. All right, let's do a quorum call before third reading calendar.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 47 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. We've got one bill on third reader. This is calendar 51. Clerk will read the bill.
Senate Bill 420, Senator Carter, Criminal Law, Drug Paraphernalia for Administration, Decriminalization.
Senate Bill 420 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? Chair recognizes the senator from District 5.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to remind the body about this bill. The title is, in my view, not correct. And I think it's important to note the distinction that needs to be made here. Decriminalization means removing criminal sentencing, criminal penalties. When the state decriminalized marijuana in small amounts, and we also decriminalized paraphernalia, we did not just say it's all completely legal. In addition, when we decriminalize smoking marijuana and having marijuana in small amounts, we put in penalties if you're smoking marijuana in public. Must appear, citations must appear before a judge, and fines. This bill wipes away any issue with possessing heroin paraphernalia, needles, syringes, spoons, other types of equipment that you're using that's obviously for use in drugs, for using things like heroin and other types of very dangerous drugs that are ravaging our communities. We should not pass this bill in its current form. There's a fair argument to be made about decriminalizing paraphernalia as a tool so that folks are not getting incarcerated, but instead we're able to help people, get them into drug treatment. Medical professionals trying to hand out materials, trying to hand out paraphernalia, whether I think that's something the state should be doing or not. There's a fair discussion to be had about that. That's not this bill. This bill is legalizing it, meaning that if a police officer rolls up on somebody that they've heard that there's drug activity going on, they go and they find that they have a whole bunch of paraphernalia but no drugs, hey, have a nice day. Can't cite them. Can't find somebody. What I tried to do with my amendment on second reading was say, at the very least, there should be a citation and a fine and must appear before a judge, because then that person has to interface with some type of authority figure that can say, we need to get you help. Not put them in jail, but get help. This bill just says, it wipes it all away. It just makes it completely legal. So that's what, if we vote for this bill, that's what we're doing. We're legalizing heroin paraphernalia. I just cannot strongly urge enough, and I'm somebody who's been supportive of, we've done a lot with criminal justice reform. We've done a lot to make sure that people who have a drug addiction are not being incarcerated, but are getting help and treatment. Even low-level criminal things that happen, low-level offenses, we've tried to be sure those folks, if it's drug-related, are getting into treatment. This is not that. So I would strongly urge the body to vote against this bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Chair recognizes the Senator from District 34.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I agree with the good Senator. I think one difference I have with him is that I would focus in the title on the word administration, which to me takes it that you're decriminalizing folks who are sitting there with a needle trying to inject it, or people who are supplying them with those as part of the drug rehab programs and needle exchange programs. This bill is really poorly drafted. And what it does, which was not intended by the advocates, is it decriminalizes the manufacture and sale. So we're not just here benefiting the people who hand needles out because they're trying to be good to public health. It goes well beyond them. It allows people to counterfeit produce needles and syringes and store mass quantities and sell them on the black market. I don't know what possible redeeming public interest is furthered by that. This bill needs to be referred back and rewritten. It's just a big mistake. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Chair recognizes the Senator from the 38th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I again just want to follow up. I represent Ocean City, the boardwalk. When marijuana and marijuana paraphernalia was decriminalized, we did see a direct increase in activity of public smoking of marijuana. There was a direct correlation. Now you've heard the descriptions of not being able to have the police, law enforcement intercede to even check out this drug paraphernalia that will now be decriminalized, and there will be a direct increase of activity of that in Ocean City, which we are, again, stress our family-friendly beach town for the state of Maryland. So I urge a no vote on this.
Thank you, Senator. Chair recognizes the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to remind the body that when we talk about these syringes and these paraphernalia, we have already authorized organizations to pass them out. And in the counties that don't have these syringe services programs, the pharmacies are legally able to distribute them. All this bill does is try to keep criminalization away from the people that are using these, to encourage people to use these clean products and to use these programs. I just want to clarify something because I think it was mischaracterized. Under the bill, page 3 of the bill, it specifically says that a person may not possess or distribute controlled paraphernalia under the circumstances which reasonably indicate an intention to use the controlled paraphernalia for purposes of illegally manufacturing, distributing, or dispensing a controlled dangerous substance. And so this bill really is narrowly tailored to get to this paraphernalia for drug addiction and to enhance public health and public safety. So for those reasons, I'd urge everyone to vote in favor of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Chair recognizes the Senator from the 32nd District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will say this has been a tough debate to listen to, and it's been a very tough decision, but thank you for allowing us to see the testimony from the committee, Mr. President, because that's what's going to sway my vote. Reading the MedChi letter and talking about how passing this bill will help to reduce the spread of hepatitis, HIV, and other serious diseases. So I have a great deal of respect for MedChi and their position, and again, thank you for allowing us to read the committee testimony.
Thank you, Senator. All right. Senate Bill 420 is on third reader for final passage. Any further discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 31 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 420, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. All right, Senators, desk is clear. We are going to have probably more work tomorrow and Friday. So I know committees are working very, very hard. House bill hearings already started up. So it's going to pick back up. We had a little bit of respite. Let's start with committee announcements. Chair recognizes Chair of Finance.
Finance will meet for bill hearings at 1 p.m. and following that, voting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chair recognizes Chair of Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs Committee will meet for hearings at 1:15.
1:15. Chair recognizes the Chair of Budget and Tax.
We will have voting at 5 today.
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Chair recognizes the Chair of Judicial Proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing scheduled for the day. Several of the senators will be working on various items from housing to right to counsel to immigration and police. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator. Keep him busy. All right. Other announcements, select committees, delegations. If not, Chair recognizes the co-chair of the Protocol Committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And first of all, permission to use the senator's name.
Senator most certainly may proceed.
The whole body, ladies and gentlemen, please wish Senator Zucker a happy belated birthday. We missed it yesterday.
Happy birthday, Senator. Just where he wants to be. Perfect birthday present.
Yes, thank you very much. And also, ladies and gentlemen, we missed saying hello and welcome back to our pages yesterday because we did not convene. So I wanted just to remind you that we have a wonderful group, 17 young people who are with us virtually for the rest of the week as we deliberate and work through the budget and other significant issues. But if you get an opportunity to connect with them, please do. These are outstanding students from around the state, from your districts included. And we will bid them farewell on Friday, their final day with us for this year, and we will have their lovely faces up on the monitor, the board, and we will get to wish them farewell. But thank you so much, Pages, for working with us. We hope you're having a great learning experience, and you will consider following in our footsteps in the future. Thank you.
Well said, Senator. Thank you very much. We thank the Pages. We wish they were here very, very much, but we are thankful that they're able to participate virtually. I think I'm trying to speak to some of them either this or next week and look forward to it. They really are just some remarkable, remarkable young people, so we are very, very thankful for them. A couple of quick things. First, I would also like to give another thank you to Nick and Andrea from our Secretary of the Senate's office. This First Citizens, we had to try and figure out how to do it virtually. The Zoom, the in-person, they've become AV masters and with the OIS team, and just want to give them a quick thanks for helping us to make today work. And of course, all of our Secretary of the Senate's officers have just been doing such an amazing job this year. Another positive note. This afternoon, I will be headed out pretty early because I'll be joining the Speaker and the Governor at Bowie State University, where the Governor will be signing the HBCU bill that was passed by both chambers. So that will happen this afternoon at 2:45, and look forward to being joined by the President Pro Tem and the sponsor of the bill, where we will hopefully really it's just an exciting moment to settle a problem that's been out there for 12, 14 years. So look forward to doing that this afternoon with the Speaker and the Governor, and thank every member of this chamber for your ongoing work to help solve problems. All right. Yes. Yeah, please. Right. We appreciate the signature of that. All right. Any other announcements before we head out today for the good of the order? If not, quorum call before we adjourn.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their presence in the chamber? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 47 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate of Maryland stand adjourned until Thursday, March 25th at 10:30 a.m.
10:30. Without objection, so ordered. Stay safe, wear your mask, get the vaccine.